Looks like Bernie Sanders is back in the race again, but will he get cheated again?
Speaking of controversy, R. Kelly is back in the news. Let's take you around the net what's going on with some viral videos.
Whatever, Quagmire. I gotta go to the bathroom. Where's your toilet?
Right here, Peter.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all telling me this. You're telling me that. Y'all just don't want to believe it too. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years. I need help.
What kind of help?
I need somebody to help me beat my meat.
Robert.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Crossover Show. I'm Jesse Valdez. This is Eric Mateos. Funny viral videos on a serious topic.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to bring some funny into this dark moments. But what else can you say about him? He's a monster, but just got to make fun of him, and hopefully justice is served.
So tell me a little bit about why now? Why is he being brought back to the white in these situations?
Some say he stopped paying, so now they're trying to re-sue him again. And since he had a few docuseries made up about him again, so he's back in the light, and many people hate him for that and are really hating what he really did because he was a monster. But I mean, he was charged once again, so we got to make sure that whoever he is getting prosecuted from is actually real. And you know, unfortunately, we can't believe everyone, so we got to make sure that if he's getting prosecuted, it's by the right people and not fakes.
So why is he getting prosecuted? Where's the evidence? Does he have like this certain like pattern that he follows?
Yeah, so I mean, you could start off back in his first marriage with Aaliyah. She was 15 and he was 24. Not only that, he's been caught on videotape peeing on 14-year-old girls, unfortunately.
That's not funny, but...
Yeah, but it's I mean, Dave Chappelle said it a long time ago, and no one cared back then, but now that Lifetime brought out their docuseries they're carrying now, and it's a big outrage.
This is weird. So, I mean, 15 years old, they lied about it, so obviously he knew, both of them knew that they were doing something wrong. Would you consider, is R. Kelly a pedophile?
Yeah, he's a pedophile for sure. But, I mean, the parents should be at fault at this too because they agreed to it and they settled with it. So what's going on with that? How many people did he actually really kidnap or there was against their own will? Not only that, how many parents actually knew about this or didn't know about this? Those are the questions that should be answered and not be fully blamed on R. Kelly.
You kind of bring this up. I've heard stuff on some sex cult basement.
Yeah,
like, is that even true?
So that's
or is
crazy.
That just something that people brought up?
It's kind of a big, it's kind of like a known secret, so we really don't know if there's full evidence about that, but I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for him since knowing all this stuff that's coming out of him. So who knows? And we won't know till maybe more people talk about it, but I mean, he keeps getting bailed out by other women, so that says something about him.
Oh, okay, so let's look at this side. He was not found guilty on 14 accounts of child porn back in 2008.
Yeah.
So he was actually innocent on that, but as more evidence towards other things continue to come out.
So this is the crazy part about it is because he's found now guilty, right? But on the docuseries, they have videos of him talking and doing sexual acts on underage women. Yeah. So what does that mean? You know, did they settle something and now all of a sudden they're trying to re-sue now? What's going on with that? So that's what I'm saying, you know, he is a monster, don't get me wrong about that.
Yeah.
But who let this happen? And who consented?
Yeah. It's crazy to think because, I mean, this is stuff that's obviously been happening for a long time.
Yeah.
It's back into the light. R. Kelly kind of is weird.
Yeah, he is a weird person.
Thing.
I mean, there's
Why
many
would you pee
interviews.
on somebody?
Yeah, exactly. And there's many interviews back then. There's a big viral video of him back then where they asked him if he likes underage women. And he like questions that question. He's like, what do you mean underage?
Yeah.
So it's like, what's underage for him? You know what I mean? So it's a big controversy. Hopefully he's brought to justice, or everyone that let this happen is brought to justice as well.
Well, I guess the remix to Ignition isn't going to happen right now.
No, I don't think. I mean, he's gonna have a big banger for everyone to forgive him again, which I don't know if he has it in him anymore.
So let's switch the gears. All right.
Yeah.
Controversy with R. Kelly. Okay, that's a big deal. It's going to continue to be a big deal. Yeah. Let's talk about the presidential race.
Yeah.
Trump won it back in 2016.
No one thought he would.
No one thought he would, but he did because everybody was brought to fear that they had to vote for a lesser evil.
Yeah, and the lesser evil, unfortunately, was Trump.
Yep. And I mean, there's a lot of Trump supporters, and we all have our own opinions.
And even many Bernie supporters didn't go Democrat. They went Trump way. So that speaks a lot about what's going on with the Democratic Party in a whole.
And so coming into this next run, what's going to happen is Trump's still going to have that reign to be able to run again. You know,
if the polls are correct, he's got a 93 approval rating from the Republican side, but the left side, I don't know. But yeah. It could, I don't know. The news been pretty inaccurate lately with them saying that he's not popular. Yet, if you check all around the net, he is very popular and very viral for himself.
People say that Trump won because of the internet itself.
Yeah, so it's crazy for people to say that he's not popular when the internet says otherwise. And the mainstream media has been trying to shut down everyone. Not only did they try shutting down Bernie Sanders, they're trying to shut down Bernie Sanders, Trump, and Tulsi Gabbard. So what's going on with that? Why are they being shut down, but Kamala Harris isn't, Cory Booker isn't?
Here's the thing, those are two names I've heard. I feel like a lot of people want Tulsi and Bernie to run together, right?
And that could happen if one or the other doesn't make it.
When back when we were all striving for Bernie back in 2016, even this guy right here, yep. This man was for Bernie himself, and now all of a sudden he's anything but a Bernie fan.
I opened my eyes to it. I did my homework a little bit, and I just researched it, and I just don't think he's the right candidate anymore. I still
say that?
He's a little too socialist for me, I would say.
The term socialism, like people look at that and they're like, oh, everybody wants free. Oh, give me this. But that's not the case.
They have demonized socialism just as well. They have demonized capitalism.
Look, I'm not looking for somebody to pay for my next pair of shoes or for my next car or for whatever. All I'm looking is for a balance in society when the 1/10 of 1% owns more money than the bottom half of America. Do you think that's fair at all? People aren't paying their fair share of taxes, but yet they're making money like they're breathing.
But who let that happen though? The government.
The government, yes.
So what should we do? Shrink government instead of making more regulations?
It's a corrupt government that needs to be fixed. That doesn't mean get rid of it in total unless some other lunatic take over. That doesn't fix the whole thing.
We're not saying to get rid of it at all. We're just trying to minimize it.
See,
and that would work. And I mean, look, the government keeps growing more every year, every decade, whatever you want to call it. And we just keep getting worse. Poor people are getting screwed over. Middle class is getting smaller. Rich people are getting richer. Why is that? The politicians are in their pockets.
I feel like before worrying about the rest of the world, you need to worry about your own people. Security for your people is the most important. If you want to strengthen and empower as a society together as one, you need to have security for your people.
Yeah.
Why is it wrong to have Medicare for all? Why is it wrong to have a better education that is affordable, where you're not in debt?
Yeah,
right?
So get rid of the government because that's all the interest rate.
But getting rid of the government isn't going to solve the problem because somebody else is just going to come and replace that same exact problem.
The free market
will. The same issue.
The free market will, and it'll be much cheaper because there's competition instead of just one company doing it all.
Free market in what sense?
The government doesn't get into this. So everyone has to compete for your money as it is. The schools have to compete. Not only schools have to do, banks have to compete for you.
Okay, so that works to an extent. But look at it this way. If I'm going to the doctors and they're like, okay, this makes sense because this can lower rates, like you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. Well, rates won't be so high because obviously it wouldn't be under providers, insurance companies that, to me, we don't even need and we're being overpriced to begin with.
So then why does Big Pharma have all these medicines that are so expensive?
They're expensive, but let me get to the point of this, is if you're trying to minimize and have competition between, let's say, hospitals, right?
Yes.
We're having competition between hospitals.
Clinics
now
and
all of a
everything.
sudden these hospitals are looking to where can I cut to make the most money because we want the business, right? We
Yes.
got to shrink and make things cheaper, but we still want the business.
Yes, and that's
so
where
then all
free
of a sudden,
market
but
works.
isn't that wrong in the sense of, oh well, now I don't want somebody working on me or doing surgery and they don't know what they're doing because of the cheapest surgeon out there.
No, but
like
then,
there's a difference there. I feel
Yes.
like these people still need to get paid,
Yes.
but they shouldn't get paid the way they are. I think right now we are paying more money for insurance through our providers. We'd be saving money if everybody got free Medicare. We'd be saving it. We'd be slashing the middleman out of it.
okay, so then you're agreeing with me that there shouldn't be no insurance, right?
There shouldn't be no insurance because it's
Or there
it's
should be an
corrupt.
insurance, but it's not. It shouldn't be set up the way it is right now. So insurance should work.
It shouldn't be
kind of like car
$20
insurance,
for a
right?
Band-Aid when really
Yeah,
it
it
didn't cost
isn't.
$20.
Exactly. So it should be kind of like car insurance, right? Where you only pay for an accident that you had by if it was accidental.
Yeah.
You're not paying for an oil change with your insurance. You're not paying for.
Oh yeah,
So you get what I'm saying?
I get that in a sense, like if people want their own private insurance, get their own private insurance,
Yes.
but there should be something available for the public, especially for the people that cannot afford to
Yes,
live.
but listen to this. If it's treated like that, how I put car insurance as an example, you go in for a physical, regular checkups, and you'll be fine. If you have something grave, that's when your insurance kicks in and actually pays for it.
Okay.
So less money is getting spent out from your pocket and less from the insurance. Insurance has more money to back you up if anything grave happens. And not only that, there's great social programs like those great social programs from the internet like GoFundMe that help people out that have hearts and care about people. Not every person's gonna get, unfortunately.
But
not
GoFundMe
popular.
also takes a slash of that money as well. at
They
the
do.
same
They
time.
take a percentage,
What
but
I'm
it's a business.
It's
a
but That's
service.
the thing. If I break my arm, or if you break your back, or whatever, you come ill, have
Yes.
cancer.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
do you want to go to the doctors and be like, oh, now I can't live because I can't pay to
can't
do this
afford it,
chemo.
yeah.
I can't pay to get the surgery.
Yeah. And,
like,
and look, you're putting a lot too much heart into it, and I get that. That's where I came from too, is putting too much heart into it. But you got to think about it as in the real deal, the real world, is that unfortunately things cost money, so you got to pay for it. But as we said, if insurance isn't this big thing that unfortunately stops us from having more money in our pockets, it's not going to work out.
look at it this way. I'll take my personal aspect out of it. Let's go into education, right? If I were to put myself into this right now, right? I went to school.
Yes.
Took me a long time to graduate from school, right?
Yes.
If they were to make education free, at least for 2 years, for 2-year education and associates, if they were to give that to people, to the public for free, I would look at that and be like, why would they get it for free? I worked so hard to do that myself. I don't want that. I want them to work just as hard. That is me being selfish.
Yeah, but
If
we're
I
not-
take myself out of the
Yes.
situation,
Yes,
and I
but-
look at the situation then, now it's like, you know what? That would be a good idea. That should be a good idea because it will strengthen who we are, our economy, and us as a people.
On paper, it looks great, but it doesn't work that way in the real world. So yeah, the school should be cheaper, just like it was back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I agree with you with that. But what happened that made the semester so much more money? The student loans, which is run by what? The government. So government coming into
But
it,
it's not the
interfering into
government,
everything.
it's the corrupt government that
Exactly.
needs to be fixed.
So why would
the
you make it
politicians that are in office
Yes.
need to be fixed.
Yes, they're public servants and they're not acting like public servants.
No,
They're acting like they're
it's
above you.
Personal agenda. We
Yes.
get back to a personal agenda.
Yes.
Take yourself out of the situation. Politicians don't do that. They keep themselves in it because it's a personal agenda.
Because they have the corporates in their pockets.
Yeah.
So how are we going to fix that? By shrinking
So
government?
how are we going to fix this? We're going to vote for somebody that doesn't take money from the corporate, that doesn't take money from Wall Street, that doesn't have a super PAC, that gets all of his money funded by us, the people. Eric has to agree with that.
Yeah, if it works. But I don't know. There's so many stuff with even Bernie himself that I don't agree with. And I think making government bigger is not going to help anything out.
All right. Well, we didn't get to Eric today. We do agree on one thing. We both love Tulsi.
We both love Tulsi. I like Tulsi. She has a strong message, similar to Bernie's, but with her foreign relations, she seems like she wants peace. And she's also a veteran, which shows you that she really means that she wants peace.
Well, that's it for now. We kind of took a lot of time out into the whole Bernie brigade.
Bernie debate.
The whole Bernie debate. But be sure to follow us on Facebook. Always catch our news. We got everything from politics, video games, sports. I mean, this is why they call us the crossover, media crossover, because we literally cross over into everything and anything.
We try to let you know a little bit of everything, which works out for everyone.
So thanks for watching. And remember to stay plugged in
into everything that matters.